If you're relatively new to sales, welcome. Sales can be one of the most rewarding, exciting, and flexible career paths that we can possibly have. Whether you are a sales rep at a company or you're a business owner who has just stepped into the role of salesperson, making sales is super fun, but it is also an incredibly challenging profession. And so in this video, I'm going to show you Sales 101, a sales beginner's guide to closing the deal. Check it out. Number one, take a breath. You're in sales. Welcome. It's great. It's a great career path, but it can be super stressful. And what I find is that particularly beginner salespeople are very likely to be like a gazelle in the wilderness where there's just constant anxiety. They're looking over their shoulder. You've got to just take a breath and really clarify what's going to be your process, what's going to be your path to success, and how can I really model success and short circuit that learning curve. Number two, be willing to screw up. You are going to make mistakes. You are going to piss people off. You are going to frustrate people. You're going to lose sales. That's just part of the learning process of becoming a successful salesperson. You must be willing to screw up, because if you're not, you will not last in sales. By being willing to make mistakes, it does two things. One is it just takes that pressure off and it allows us to have the permission to just learn. Because if you're constantly afraid of making mistakes, you're going to be selling from a place of fear. Two is that it allows us to learn much more quickly, because by being willing to make mistakes, you can, as they say in Google, fail fast, right? The faster you fail, the faster you make those mistakes, the more you're going to learn. So just be willing to screw up. Number three, follow a process from day one. The absolute best way to short circuit success is to follow a process from your first day of selling. Hey, there's basically two ways to learn this. One is you can go out and you can spend years trying to learn. You're going to make tons of mistakes. You're going to screw up. You're going to just try to throw a big pot of spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And maybe at the end of years of struggle, you will have a process. But there's also a good chance you'll never have a good process as a result of learning that way. The other way is to just from day one, learn a process that is already successful, that already works from day one, model it, learn it, incorporate it into what you do, and be successful right away. So my challenge to you is follow that process from day one. Don't try to figure it out the hard way. Number four, drop the enthusiasm. One of the biggest beginner mistakes that I see time and time again is this enthusiasm. Because you know what? Traditional old school selling has always told us you've got to be really passionate and enthusiasm about what you're selling. But the reality is that your prospects have heard that a million times. All that does is makes you sound like every other dope salesperson that your prospect has met with in the past year. Drop the enthusiasm. Simply be real. Focus on your process, not your enthusiasm for your product or your service. Number five, be firm and real. So this is the counter to the enthusiastic approach, right? The enthusiastic approach is, hey, I'm so excited that you're here. I'm having a great day. How are you, right? They're using that fake voice. Instead, we just want to be firm and real. George, let me share with you exactly what we're going to be talking about today. By being real and yet firm in our process, suddenly we are presenting as a leader. Because ultimately prospects want to be led through a process. Even if they don't think they want that, that is what they need. Because they're looking for someone to just take charge of the process and help them get to their solution. So by being firm and real, you're actually going to separate yourself from the hordes of other goofballs out there. And at the same time, you're going to be much more likely to close deals. Number six, script out everything. So one of the keys to short-circuiting success is to use a script for every aspect of sales. Because I hear all the time, people say, oh, well, if I use a script, it makes me sound scripted. Well, the reason you sound scripted when you use a script is because you're bad at using your script, right? I mean, if every actor said, oh, I don't like to use a script, well, there would be no movie or TV industry, right? Great actors are by definition good at following the script. You can do the same. Just get really good at using your script. At the same time, having that script allows us to cut out all the fat, all the excess. Because if we're not using a script for those initial conversations, whether it's a prospecting call, a discovery conversation, or a presentation, we are going to be all over the place. Having that script keeps us on track, and at the same time, it ensures that we use the right process. Number 7, disqualify. So as a beginner salesperson, many of us have been told that we need to qualify, or we need to pitch, or we need to persuade, or we need to convince prospects to do business with us. All that stuff is ridiculous. In this day and age, your prospects don't need to be persuaded. They don't need to be convinced to do business with you. What they need is for you to take them through a disqualification process to A, determine if they're a fit, because let's face it, half of your prospects are not a fit in the first place. So disqualify them. The other part that are a fit, now we need to take them through a process of asking them a specific set of questions to really determine if they're a fit. And at the same time, build real value. Because ultimately, you're not going to be able to convince your prospects to do business with you. They have to believe that you can help them solve their challenges. And the way to do that is to really get deep into their challenges. Number 8, cut your presentation in half. One of the biggest newbie mistakes that I see over and over and over again is having a presentation that is just way too long. So as a starter, plan to cut your presentation time in half. Whatever you think it should be right now, cut it in half. And that will at least be a starting point. Presentations should not be long. You shouldn't have 30 slides in your presentation. You shouldn't even have 5 slides in your presentation. Ideally, you don't have any slides in your presentation, because a great presentation is going to be based on the disqualification conversation that you had just had. It's based on the challenges that they have. And so by cutting your presentation really short and ultimately letting your prospects' questions drive the rest of the conversation, now you're going to be focusing on what they care about. Because the questions that your prospects have are so much more important than whatever it is that you wanted to say or share. A presentation is not a show and tell time like we did in elementary school. A presentation is simply to demonstrate that we can solve their challenges, period. Number 9, model success. My biggest piece of advice for anyone who is new in sales is to model success. Don't try to figure this stuff out on your own. Identify a process that you believe is good, that is going to work, that is proven to work, and follow that time and time again. Model that process. I mean, that's literally what we do at the Sales Insights Lab. We have had so much success with our process that people don't have to wing it on their own. They literally know time and time again that if they follow this process, it's going to work. So model success. Wherever you're going to model it, and don't try to figure it out on your own. So there is Sales 101, a sales beginner's guide to closing the deal.